this guy walk out the door. Saquan Barkley, Jalen Hurts said, I take him. And everyone else in Philly said, we would too, as a divisional opponent. So Saquan with a touchdown catch, and then burst out of a cannon for a touchdown. Saquan, they call him Mr. Thighs. I got to hit the pause button, though. Saquan right here for his third touchdown. Not one, not two, but three. Shout out to my boy Brandon. 1, 2, 3. Saquan, y'all. That boy, bang.
He is indeed that. He's Saquan, right, as they call him in college, was voted the NFC's Offensive Player of the Week. Let me get Kmart in here.
Yes,
Did anyone have a worse week than the people who run the New York Giants? Watching what happened to them, and then the guy they let get out the door, who the owner was on Hard Knocks saying, I don't know about letting Saquon go. Is Saquon, that's the question here, is Saquon the missing piece that gets the Eagles back to the Super Bowl?
Oh, 100%. I mean, Saquon Barkley is a dynamic back behind an offensive line that is very good. And now we saw Kellen Moore run a little bit of scheme with them. They get a little bit more downhill in the run game. They utilize him as a pass catcher. 2,000 yards, 2,000 all-purpose yards if he plays all 17 games for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And you were the one who actually sent me that, I mean, during Hard Knocks. You were like, did you see John Mara basically saying... So that,
he forecasted his worst nightmare because he literally looked at Joe Schoen and said, okay, I trust you guys, but I'm going to have a hard time sleeping if we please don't let him go to the Eagles. Like that, and that's literally what happened. And they made their division rival better. And unfortunately, they made themselves worse. Now, I've seen people tweet, Giants fans tweeting, Saquon would not have looked like that in our offense. I get that, but Saquon carried a lot in your offense. And now he goes to an Eagles team that is deeper, tougher, more physical, and he's allowed to do more things, and he sets everybody else up.
Those Giant fans are not making the point they think they're making. Let's be very clear.
No doubt. Joe Schoen, he should feel ashamed today to let Saquon out of the door. Lord have mercy. Ashamed.
It is an interesting question. As a defensive player, if you're lining up, so this week it's Atlanta. If you're going up against this team, and you got AJ over there, you got Devontae over there, you got Saquon back there, and oh, by the way, Jalen can run it too. What are you going and thinking, this is the number one thing we take away?
We talked about the 49ers when they had Christian McCaffrey. With all of those weapons around, we saw his impact. With Saquon, it's the same thing. We have to be able to stop the run before we can worry about the receivers on the outside. To your point, Kmart, the Giants were celebrating 100 years on Friday night in the stadium. It was amazing, I'm hearing. Saquon was in Brazil just scoring 3 touchdowns. You got to be sick as you're watching that.
Wow. As a Giants fan, the quarterback looked bad, bad interceptions, the same ones he threw in the offseason, training camp, preseason, in the game. Oh, Lord, the uniforms were ugly.
Yeah, they were
Saquon scored 3 touchdowns. Oh, Joe Schoen, you should be ashamed.
they were dressed as the Montreal Canadiens. In the meantime, all is not totally rosy with the Eagles coming out of that game. There were some things from Jalen Hurts that still concerned you, Dan, and you've got to take.
Yeah, decision making. And I do not believe that Jalen Hurts played well in that football game for the most part. And the concern is he's never really been a poor decision maker, both in the pass and the run. They're going to motion the tight end over. It's a 4-man circus, an RPO. You can either hand it off or throw the bubble. It's off that backer. If the backer stays inside, we kick the bubble. If the backer goes out towards the top of the screen, we hand the ball off. I have no idea why Jalen Hurts would throw this bubble. If he hands the ball off, Saquon might hit his head on the goalpost. And he's usually so good at the decision-making in that RPO game, the zone read game, where he could be a ball carrier. We release the tight end. We're going to double team on the front side, double team on the back side. He's just releasing or reading that defensive end. Same thing. If the defensive end squeezes, we keep it. If the defensive end stays outside, hand the ball off. Hand the ball off, it might go for 15, 20 yards. Then pulls it and is a ball carrier, and it's -1. So 2 decisions in the run game that are abnormal. Then some of the turnovers, right? They try to throw like a little fake bubble screen, throw the ball downfield. J-Mac, you know this. He's on pump fake, right? You're trying to trick the defense. The defense wins the rep. Jalen throws the ball to the flat. That's a pick 6 if the defensive back catches it. That's concerning. And now this is their 2x2 RPO. Harry, you know this, where he's going to read that defender, and it's double slants. All right, Jair Alexander at the bottom of the screen completely wins the route. The slant to A.J. Brown is shut off. Now, A.J., I don't like the fact that he stops running, but if Jalen, again, just decides to throw the football, I didn't show the 2 interceptions. 2 interceptions were bad as well.
One end zone.
I think if you're the Eagles, there's a lot that you liked, but there's also like, man, our quarterback got to be better at decision making.
What they like is that they started the season 1-0.
Totally.
They made mistakes. They still can get better. but we at least started 1-0. And this is a new offense. This is a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, and it's September. There's going to be things that have to be worked out. But with Jalen Hurts, Greeny, you asked earlier, is Saquon the missing piece? Yes, but everything hinges on Jalen Hurts' performance going forward. I don't think Saquon, if Jalen continues playing like this, and it's November, December, that's still an issue. It doesn't matter that Saquon Barkley's on the field.
I would say this about the 2 interceptions because they both were 3rd and longs.
Yeah.
If I had one critique for Kellen Moore, understand, fill your quarterback out. Don't put him in those situations.
Right. The
You know
first
what I mean?
one's just everyone run deep.
You're backed up in your own territory.
Yeah.
Don't call a pass play and force him to do something that he's not supposed to do.
In their last drive, they went down there and won the game.
That's a good point.
There were some concerns, but in the end, they found a way to win. I didn't